This is nuts. Look at that. Look at how much water is coming down here. This is insane. Good morning guys. We're back at it again with another video. We're going to be doing an update on our rainwater harvesting system. So we live here in the Sonoran Desert on about 11 or 12 inches of rain per year, and we live entirely on rainwater. So I really love making these videos so that I can inspire or educate you if you want to live off grid and experience the freedom and the serenity with this. It's a lot of freedom and a lot of serenity, sometimes always not so much, and maybe we'll do a video talking about that as well. But I love getting emails and messages from you guys telling me about how you've started to implement some of the ideas that I've shown on my videos. Really makes me feel like you're getting a lot of these videos, and I'm really grateful for that. But if you want to stay up to date with all these off-grid projects that I'm doing, rainwater harvesting, solar type stuff, and we're building a big garage right now, but definitely subscribe to the channel so that you can stay on top of all these projects. So last update that I did on the rainwater system was right before we got our monsoon rains, and we had about 5,000 gallons of water in our storage tanks, and we have about a 13,000 gallon capacity. So let's see where we're at right now after all this rain that we've gotten. So it's incredible what a little bit of water does in our area. Like none of this is planted or anything like that. It's just growing because there's enough water for it to do so. But if we come up to our water tanks, I'm happy to announce this tank, it's nice and full. That tank, nice and full. This tank here, filled right to the top. And then our last tank here, filled right to the top. So our four main tanks here have a capacity of 10,000 gallons. We've got another 1,500 gallon tank up there. But with just the amount of rain that we've got so far during this monsoon season, which I calculated at 7.3 inches of rain, so just over 7 inches, makes a tremendous difference, and our rainwater system worked really nice. So just to give you a quick overview of our system, I had to build a roof on the ground in order to capture more rainwater. So this rain roof, which I've done a number of videos, and if you want to check out that video series on it, it'll be right up in the cards there. It's about 2,900 square feet, and it gravity feeds into our main water tanks, which are just right down there. So just based on the elevation difference between the rain roof and the gutter, where the inlet is and the outlet is on the tanks there, we live on about a 2 or 3% gradient. So we're able to get enough difference in elevation so that the water can just gravity feed right into the tanks. So when we get our storms, it's typically in the evening or overnight, but I was able to capture video footage from two storms. One that was about 3/4 of an inch of rain, and then the second one was 1.25 inches, and that's the one where we had the massive flooding. So you can kind of see how everything flows out here while that was going on. The footage from the first storm is a more typical storm that we get when we're getting between 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain. You can see the rain roof working really nice and collecting many thousands of gallons of water over the course of a year for us to use. So I'm walking down here towards the garage to see how the berms are doing, that the site prep guy, Joe, did, and seems to be doing good. We're seeing some pooling and some flooding somewhat close to the base of the garage, but since it's raised up so much, it shouldn't really be much of an issue here. Now I'm walking back up towards our driveway, towards where our main washes are. And this is pretty typical, is that this first wash doesn't typically always flow, but this one here always flows when we get a good amount of rain. And this is typically the velocity that it flows at. It's pretty calm, pretty normal, just like a little river. And we can see here how this second wash, that doesn't always flow during the storms, but we can see how the water is starting to trickle down and work its way down through our property. You can see the tiny house in the background there. But this is typically how the water flows on our property when we have a storm, and you'll see how much different it is for the second storm. So our rainwater culvert cistern that's connected to the tiny house and the awning, it is completely full. So you can see the overflow pipe going down and watering this native tree here. I forget what kind that is.
Rain roof up there. This tank is already completely full, so the water is going across that 4-inch pipe there.
So you can see how when that first tank is completely full, it overflows into the next one, and then the remaining 3 tanks are connected underneath the ground so they fill up evenly.
You can see this tank is completely filled right up, and it's transferring over into that one right there. So far here we've got about 5/8 of an inch of water. This tank's overflowing. The tanks are totally full. Look at the water coming out. We're getting some flooding down here.
So this is footage from another storm that we had. So this storm here, we got a massive amount of rain and a ton of flooding, as you can see. And even though we only got 1.25 inches of rain, I'm guessing that the storm was upstream of us where the concentrated rain was.
Look at how much water is coming down here. This is insane.
And my neighbor said that this was the most intense storm, or the worst flooding that he's seen since he's been out here, and he's been out here for over 10 years now. So this is a really good, I guess, kind of learning lessons or observational piece, just to kind of see exactly how the water is going to flow on our property when we have intense flooding. This is really important so that we can basically plan out where we're going to be doing more rainwater harvesting earthworks. We're not going to try to control the flow of water. We're just going to slow it down, spread it out, and sink it into the ground.
You can see my little basins here, completely filled up, overflowed into the next one, and then into the next one there. Oh wow. Here's the swale. Look at how that thing is just so full of water right now. That is nuts. So it is overflowing over there, but it's also, it broke the banks down here. Man, it's overflowing where it shouldn't be overflowing. This is crazy. So you can see, wow, like look at this. This is crazy. So I'm gonna have to, in the future, put rocks across the top of our swale, because look at how full of water this thing is. This thing is so full of water right now. Good lesson to learn right here. Like, wow.
So that's an update on our rainwater harvesting system. You can certainly indeed live on rainwater in the desert. Like I said earlier, we only get about 11 or 12 inches of rain per year. If you live in an area where you get maybe 30 or 40 inches of rain per year, you wouldn't need nearly as much collection surface as we have between the rain roof and the awning on the tiny house. It's around 3,500 square feet. And like I said, we have about 13,000 gallons of capacity. So if you get a lot more rain, then you can make your rainwater harvesting system a lot smaller, but you can certainly indeed do it in a desert climate. One thing that I noticed that was different for this monsoon season as opposed to the last one is that we got all of our rain over the course of a 7-week period this year, whereas last year we got our rain in about a 3, maybe 4-week period. And you can kind of see, like I kept a rain schedule so that I knew exactly when the rain started, how much we got each storm, and that'll be nice so that I can track every single year how much rain that we're getting, how much water we're collecting, how much water that we're using, all that kind of stuff. Awesome. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next video. Talk to you soon. Peace.